Assalamu alaikum. Tonight is the 17th of the July and year 2024. As per my daily routines, and I was very busy as to understanding the issues of the humans in the Pakistan, that which are the primary ingredients leading the humans in the miserable situations in the Pakistan. After observing the reciprocating criminal misdemeanor regarding the females' fluctuations of the rights, intangible one. And after that, in Pakistan, it is a well prevailing custom and precedent, as per my observation of tonight, that the humans are not in the position as to understanding the factual disobedience of the reproduction growth rate in the Pakistan. This is a prime social factor in the Pakistan. The 95% of the humans are not in the position as to understanding the factual existence of the female's rights. So, if anyone who has produced a lot of the children, and especially the females, and such a human being is not in the perfect mediums as to understand the intellectual failures of the rights of the said females in question, it becomes an outstanding judicial area to the Pakistan territories, especially in the Supreme Judicial Council, which should be redressed that if the females do not have the sufficient ways as to ascertain the moderate lines of assessment to their own character assassinations in the perfect mediums thereafter, who shall be held responsible for the composition of such females in the accurate length of wisdom regarding their upcoming years of the ages. We are not in the as we as a Pakistani especially, and in the Middle East and in the reciprocating countries, we are not observing such issues in the Pakistan. So primarily, I was observing such issues in the Pakistan, that a lot of the females become victimized through the family politics, official politics, and the victimization of the blood mixed marriages, the output devalued marital destitution offences, the recovery to the remaining areas to the land inspection rights, and a lot of factors. So, when we are observing such issues, especially as to execution of our lives in the practical area of thinking, that in Pakistan it is a very difficult task as to understand the rights of the females, because most probably the males, they do not have sufficient observation as to protect the rights of the females. It is a precedent custom which is not being dissolved so far, that after the Pakistanis blood, especially the male, they are shifting their burden of economical observations to the uh, civil failure of the liabilities, and they are not tantamounting as to observe that if they are not willing to absorb such resolutions regarding the females in Pakistan, such females, after having, I have found that a lot of the females are being manipulated in the name of the love, heritage, culture. So, if the females are being manipulated in the name of the love, affection, and other things in the reciprocating areas of thinking, critical observations of the manipulations of the females in Pakistan shall have to be observed by the Pakistanis, that if they are not providing the sufficient ways of income and expenses regarding their females, thereafter it would be pertinent to observe that such females would not protect either of the upcoming generation, and thereafter a lot of the heinous criminal offences could be upheld in the public sector. When I found that a lot of the females have become a challengeable question in the public sector, because such females do not have a sufficient resolutions regarding the executions of the human resource existential rights. So, if the females are executing out in the public sector their life, and such females do not have a sufficient ways as to ascertain the moderate lines of income and expenses, thereafter the males are in a problem. In Pakistan, it is well consumed fact of law that a lot of the males, they are in the spontaneous activities of multiple social marriages under the name of contracts, and thereafter manipulating the females, innocent souls in Pakistan. And such females do not have sufficient sources as to provide the moderate lines of assessment of their own character to their upcoming generation or a generation before their hand. And such females want to have a point of execution of the lives in the moderate assessment of the intellectual understandings, and thereafter such females want to live in a package of resolutions. Thereby these are civil basic injuries regarding the females' rights in the Pakistan so far, and a lot of the males they are not in the question as to understand the reciprocating criminal activities with the rights of the females in Pakistan. And when I observe deeply after observing the intellectual failures of the males in Pakistan, it is a secondary custom and precedent that after consummating a lot of the marriages, blood mixed marriages, or irregular marriages, or regular type of marriages, the males usually manipulate the females in return of reciprocating intentional grudges. Yes, and they just offend the females in such characteristics that such females do not find sufficient ways as to understand that whether such females would have a way as to execute the life before the world appears to be a top listed question for outstanding area, which should be redressal of doubt in this age of scientific area of recognition to the facts of law. But after observing the unbalanced, equitable, distortion amount of reproduction growth rate of the females in Pakistan, it could be upheld in the public sector that the males they do not carry forward a point of reflections of moderation lines of the upgrowth rate of the females in the length of the Muslim Shariat as well as the English jurisprudence, and thereafter such females are not having proper guidance of the executions of the human resource management existential affairs in the Pakistan up till now. I'm talking about the majority classes of the Pakistani females. In the pretext of the a lot of mixed type of offences, the females are being performed in the public sector, and sometimes females become an offended behavior in the public sector. Such females become offended a lot of the times after observing the males' manipulative mediums of assessment of their um, torturing type of behavior, and after that, such females want to procure their own lives. And a lot of the divorcee repatriations females could be found in the public sector. Today, it is not an issue that the females are being found in the public sector having a reciprocating area of not having the possession of the reciprocating inherited properties as well as the personal proprietary rights to the self-defended area of civil description of things in the particular matter in the public sector. Thereby, if the females are not being provided the sufficient resources at the behest of the defaulted classes of the males in Pakistan or the vulnerable groups of the males in Pakistan, thereby the females majority are becoming habitual offender of the offences of the vulnerable criminal offences in the Pakistan, and the individualism is raising day by day, and the inclination in the category of the individual class of females become an operative area, and in the same regards the females are becoming feminist from the year 2016 towards now, and towards 2024 upwards. So these are some primarily differentiated issues of the females scientific proportionate factor that the females in Pakistan do not have the sufficient ways of execution of the lives in the human existential factors. Stay blessed. This is the advanced comparative constitutional advocate Buddhism.